All right, let's imagine something for a second. What happens when, a team's biggest star, the guy who basically is their defense, what if he's suddenly not in the picture, hypothetically? For the Dallas Cowboys, obviously, that superstar is Micah Parsons. And there's been some recent buzz, right, about a trade request. Management shot it down quick.
Right, they did.
But it still kind of cracks open this really interesting what if. So this deep dive today isn't just about Micah. It's more about, team resilience, strategic depth, that whole dance between one brilliant player and the strength of the whole group.
Yeah, exactly.
Our mission, then, is to really unpack the Cowboys' pass rush. What does it look like with him? And, maybe more fascinatingly, what could it look like without their Pro Bowl edge rusher? We'll pull from different insights to give you the full picture.
It's a really compelling thought experiment, especially when you think about just how huge Parsons' impact is. I mean, Jerry Jones, the under GM, he came out strong, said unequivocally Cowboys have no intention of trading Micah Parsons.
Yeah, saw that. Came a day after the reports that Parsons himself actually asked for a trade.
Exactly. So you have that tension right there.
Okay, but here's where we need to, dig in a bit deeper, right? Because Jerry Jones, his public statements, they sound firm, but there's often this kind of unwritten asterisk with him, isn't there?
There usually is, yeah. History tells us that.
His history definitely shows, a pretty strong never say never attitude when it comes to really big moves. I mean, you don't have to look very far back. Well, maybe a bit far back now.
Yeah.
The Herschel Walker trade in '89, that wasn't just swapping players. It famously reset the whole franchise.
Totally reset it. That Hall of Draft picks.
Yeah.
That was the foundation for those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s.
Exactly. So when Jones says no intention, how much does that history, that precedent actually weigh against the statement?
Oh, it carries significant weight. Look, a trade probably isn't ideal if you want immediate success in 2025, but that Walker trade history, it definitely suggests that some kind of bow-you-over deal,
right,
a package of assets that's just too good to refuse, it could still be on the table, even for a player like Parsons.
And you understand why it'd have to be monumental when you look at Parsons himself, his impact. It's not just undeniable, it's statistically historic.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking 52.5 sacks in just his first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
That's staggering.
Just to put that number in perspective for everyone listening, sacks became official back in, 1982?
Yeah, 82.
Since then, only 4 players have gotten more sacks in their first 4 seasons. 4.
And think about who they are.
We're talking Hall of Famers. Reggie White,
Yeah.
he had 70. Derek Thomas, 58. DeMarcus Ware, another Cowboy great. And then J.J. Watt, future Hall of Famer, he had 57.
That's the company he's keeping. And remember, last season, he still got 12 sacks, even though he missed 4 games.
Right, with that high ankle sprain, which, can seriously mess with an edge rusher's burst.
It really can.
Yeah.
And it's honestly not just the raw numbers, even though they're, super impressive. It's his, they call it elite intelligence and elite talent. That combination means he just commands most of the attention from the offense.
So double teams, triple teams sometimes.
All the time.
Yeah.
And the fascinating part is how that translates strategically. Because so much of the blocking scheme, the game plan, is just focused on trying to slow Parsons down.
Right.
It actually frees up other guys on that D-line to make plays. It's like chess, right? Your queen draws all the attention, opens up the board for your other pieces.
That's a great analogy. That kind of strategic gravity, it's a huge part of his value, maybe something people overlook sometimes.
For sure.
So, okay, undeniable impact. But where do things stand right now? Because he hasn't practiced yet in training camp, which has definitely raised some eyebrows.
Yeah, that's the current situation.
Yeah.
And while Jerry Jones says he's confident they'll get a long-term deal done, he wasn't quite ready to guarantee Parsons will be playing in Week 1, September 4th against Philly.
So that what-if scenario we kicked off with, it's still kind of hanging there, isn't it?
It is. And that really brings us right to the core of this deep dive. What would the Cowboys' pass rush look like without Micah Parsons? If he draws all that attention, who are the other key guys? Who benefits when he's there, but who would really have to step up and carry more weight if he wasn't?
Yeah, it's not just plugging in another player, is it?
No, it's totally reconfiguring how your defense attacks.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Who is next in line? If Parsons is getting all that focus, there have to be other talented guys ready to shine, right?
Absolutely. And you start with the veteran presence. Dante Fowler Jr.
Okay. Fowler.
He's seasoned, brings, what, 55.5 sacks over his 10 years in the league? So he knows how to get to the quarterback.
That's solid production over a long career.
And he seems really positive about the group.
Yeah.
He said, I love this pass rush room for sure. That kind of attitude from a vet, it counts. Plus, he's apparently been pretty high on the rookie we'll talk about later.
Okay, good veteran leadership experience. Who else?
Well, then you've got Sam Williams. A lot of people are looking at him for maybe a breakout 2025.
Right, he missed last season, didn't he? Injury.
Yeah, torn ACL in his left knee. That's a tough injury to come back from, especially for an edge guy.
Definitely tests your explosiveness.
For sure. But before that injury, in his first 2 seasons, he showed flashes, had 8.5 sacks.
Okay, so the potential is there.
And the coaches seem to think he's back and ready. Brian Schottenheimer, one of the coaches, he was raving about him, said, Williams is having a hell of a camp.
Hell of a camp. That's strong praise.
Yeah, and he added, nobody's surprised. We know the type of athlete he is, the speed, the power. Apparently he's been really active, really disruptive in camp.
That's encouraging. So Fowler the vet, Williams the potential breakout guy. What about the rest of the depth?
You've got Marshawn Nealand. He was a rookie last year, 2024. Didn't get a sack in the 11 games he played, but, he's developing.
Takes time.
Exactly. And then there's Peyton Turner. They picked him up in free agency. He had 5 sacks over 4 seasons with the Saints. So, maybe not huge numbers, but they add to that rotational depth.
Which is crucial, right? Keep guys fresh.
Absolutely essential over a long season. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Okay.
We need to talk about the rookie, Donovan Ezeuruaku. 2nd-round pick this year.
Ah, yes. Hearing a lot of buzz about him.
You are. He's been, and this is a direct quote, one of the most impressive players in training camp. Apparently just impacting the quarterback almost daily.
Wow, daily impact as a rookie. That's significant.
It is. And the story behind drafting him is pretty telling, too.
Oh, yeah. What's the story?
Well, the Cowboys front office, they were apparently genuinely surprised they were able to draft him. Way down at pick number 44.
Surprised he fell that far.
Yeah. Stephen Jones, the executive VP, he even mentioned their D-line coach, Aaron Whitecotton. He was apparently jumping up and down, wanting Dallas to take Ezeuruaku much earlier, like at pick number 12.
Pick 12? In the first round? Wow.
Yeah. So the internal excitement about this kid right from the start tells you what they think his ceiling might be.
That's huge. So they felt like they got a massive steal getting him at 44.
Seems that way. And it's not just raw talent. Ezeuruaku sounds like a real student of the game. You hear about him living by that, 10,000 reps idea.
Putting in the work.
Totally. He's apparently studied all the greats, like DeMarcus Ware, obviously Parsons himself, Von Miller, Nick Bosa, TJ Watt, Yannick Ngakoue. He's breaking down their moves, trying to master the craft.
Love to hear that dedication.
And it seems to be paying off.
Yeah.
Even Parsons, the superstar everyone's talking about, has been seen going over to Ezeuruaku during practice, sidling up to give him thoughts.
Oh, wow. Like a mentorship starting already.
Kind of look like it.
Yeah.
That's a massive vote of confidence from Parsons, isn't it?
Huge. And it's not just Micah seeing it, right? You mentioned Fowler earlier.
Right. Fowler highlighted Ezeuruaku's edge and his it factor.
Okay, let's break that down for listeners. When a veteran like Fowler talks about edge and it factor for a pass rusher, what does that actually mean?
Good question. Edge, that usually refers to that relentless motor, right? The competitiveness, the tenacity, never giving up on a play, fighting on every single snap.
Okay, the drive.
Exactly. And the it factor, well, that's more intangible. It's like a natural instinct for finding the quarterback that you can't really coach. It's maybe a blend of processing information quickly, anticipation, just pure explosiveness.
That innate knack.
Yeah, that knack. And you combine those things with the fact that this kid led college football in sacks last year.
Can't argue with production.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
So it suggests he's not just raw potential, he's translating that talent and drive into actual results, and now trying to do it at the pro level.
Okay, so the depth pieces, especially the rookie, sound promising. How does this fit into the bigger picture, the coaching strategy, and the overall defensive thinking?
Well, the new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, he definitely gets Parsons' value, praised his elite intelligence and elite talent, said he's excited to be able to move him around throughout the whole entire line.
Use him like a chess piece, create those mismatches.
Absolutely. Nightmare for offenses. But importantly, Eberflus also made sure to stress his excitement about the other pass rushers that we do have to create other mismatches.
Ah, so it's not just about Parsons creating openings, it's about the whole unit.
Exactly. It seems like the philosophy is about leveraging Parsons' gravity, yeah, but also about having multiple threats, fostering a collective rush, not just relying on one guy.
And Coach Schottenheimer echoed that collective strength idea, right? Talking about the D-line depth.
He did. He affirmed it, saying, we could create problems with people because of the way we play initially with the attack front. And then he added Soferga, but also with the depth that we have on the defensive line.
When he says attack front, what kind of defensive style are we talking about there?
That's a key term. Attack front generally means they're playing aggressively at the line of scrimmage, trying to penetrate, create chaos right after the snap, rather than sitting back and reacting.
Proactive, not reactive. Get downhill.
It's exactly. Disrupt the blocking scheme, force the QB off his spot quickly. And the implication, tying it all together, is that, yes, Parsons is unique. They basically said it's too much to ask anybody to be Parsons.
Fair enough.
But the team seems to believe their core defensive structure, that attack front, and the personnel depth they've built allows them to adapt. It's like, even if you lose your most powerful piece, you can still cause problems if the rest of your pieces are strong and deployed correctly.
So putting it all together, a pass rush with Parsons. It might be among the best the Cowboys have had in recent years. That's a pretty bold claim.
It is. High expectations there.
But the flip side, and maybe the crucial takeaway here, is that a pass rush without Parsons wouldn't be the same, obviously, but the Cowboys like what they have.
Right. There's confidence in the group, even without the superstar. Confidence that they can still generate pressure, even if it looks different, maybe more distributed, more collaborative.
It really speaks to a clear strategy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Valuing that generational talent like Parsons, but also investing in foundational depth across the board. They seem to be actively building a system designed to sustain success, even if, theoretically, the biggest piece was suddenly gone.
It's a really interesting balance they're trying to strike, isn't it? You want that dominant singular force like Parsons, but you have to build a resilient ecosystem around him too, preparing for the unexpected. That's what strong organizations do.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you listening? Well, this deep dive shows that, that Dallas Cowboys absolutely recognize Micah Parsons is an elite, maybe almost irreplaceable talent.
Hard to replace.
But crucially, they're also strategically building this pass rush with real depth and versatility. They're setting themselves up so they can still envision success, still create those problems for opponents, even if, if, a single-player situation changes. It really feels like a testament to planning for different scenarios in this incredibly high-stakes league.
It's about acknowledging that no single player, no matter how great, is truly bigger than the entire system.
Exactly. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Thinking beyond just football for a second, what does this whole situation tell us about, the importance of building strong systems everywhere, developing talent at all levels, instead of just banking everything on one star?
Yeah, how often do we really see organizations or even teams in other fields genuinely prepare for that unthinkable loss? Losing a key player, key asset, how well they prepare for that, it really reveals their true underlying resilience and depth, doesn't it?
It really does. Something to definitely ponder well beyond the gridiron.